now that we've made our sheets, referring back to the part 1 video, this is part 2. This is the creation of the dashboard, and this is the dashboard that we're going to create. Before we begin building the dashboard, we have to do one thing prior to that. You see that we have a logo up here in this left-hand corner, and then if you remember, we should have already, for sheet number 1, we had to download these icons to work over here, but we need to actually download some type of tree logo in the top, or that's what we want for turning in of this assignment, is up there. So what we need to do is just go to Google, and as you can see, tree icon. I chose tree icon there, and images, and just choose any tree icon and download, save image as, and you can do that. You're allowed to do that for education purposes, and you can just do tree icon 2 in this case and save it to your desktop. So we just saved a tree icon to our desktop, and that actually is step number 1 on here. So now we are here. This is where we're at. We made all of our sheets. We have our menu we've created before, our band, title, profitability map, our timeline, our footer, and now we have our dashboard. So one of the things we want to do first when we create this dashboard is let's go over here to size and let's change this from 420 to, let's do 1020, or even bigger, do 1120. And so you see it's increasing the size of our dashboard. So that's the very first thing that we want to do, is increase that size. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use a lot of stuff down here in objects. This is the lower left corner. You can see where my mouse is here on the lower left corner. And the first thing we want to do is, these are containers. Some of these are containers of what we want to do. We want to take vertical container and drag it into the sheets here. And that's all it does, is one container, so it fills up the whole thing. And we're just doing that. And what we're doing is we're going to put a few more in there, and just so that it will help us in navigating and actually building out the layout. So we have our vertical container. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 objects, blank, and we're going to put that in here and just drop it in there anywhere. And then we're going to take blank again. Now when you drop it in, if you notice how this is highlighting, is this is the far left, this is the left side, that's the right side, far, middle right, up and down. We want it either up or down, doesn't matter which one, but we want it to be in a vertical position and not a horizontal position. So you see when I put that in, I have 2 containers, one on top of the other. So let me do that again real quick. So from the very beginning, what I did is I took the sheet here, I took a vertical container and I just dropped it in, and then I took 2 blank containers. One you just drop in, second is either above or below. You can see the highlighted areas, and now I have 2 containers, one on top of the other. So just follow along a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a horizontal container, excuse me on that. When I hit the side button on my mouse, it moves to the next screen. But we're going to take a horizontal container now, and we're going to put it between the 2. Okay, we're going to put it right here in the middle, and you just see that it made a little bit bigger screen, and we're going to come up here and we're going to resize that horizontal container. There's our horizontal container now in there. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to put our logo in. So if you remember our logo there on the left side, right here on the left side, we're going to put that in first. Let me resize this so I can easily go back and forth. So we're going to put that, and to do that, come down here to objects on the bottom, and where it says image, we're going to grab image and we're going to put it in there. And now we have a pop-up that says choose our image, insert image file. We're going to choose, and I downloaded this one, this new tree icon. I'm going to use that one this time, and then we're going to do fit image and center image. So I chose the tree icon that was in my desktop. So I just scrolled down, found the icon. That's the one I just downloaded. This was the previous one on the right. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to fit image and center image, apply, and OK. And there's our icon. Okay. And we're just going to leave that there for now. Okay. So we did that. The next thing we're going to do is now we have our sheets, all of the sheets that we created over here on the left side. If you remember, we've already done a couple of these on laying out a dashboard. We're going to take the menu sheet, which shows our icons. That is what we created as a filter. And we're going to drag it into this horizontal bar that we did. We just put our logo in. Now, what we want is on the far right. So you can see where this is highlighting, and that's showing where it would go in. But we want it on the far right, and we're going to place it right there. And you see that this just popped in. The other thing that it did is Tableau automatically created this category over here, this filter over here on the right, and we want to get rid of that. And to get rid of that, we just click anywhere on here and exit out, and we want to delete that container. And so we have this one, and then we're going to resize it. And notice that it's not fitting. We see these 3 dots over here. Yours might have fit first, but we see these 3 dots. So to do that, we'll go up here to Standard and click Entire View, and then resize this down or up a little bit so that we have this entire view. Okay. And then we can resize it a little bit more. And we're going to leave it like that for right now. And we'll come back and we'll just make sure everything works correctly. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here to Objects again, and we're going to grab the text container. This is where it's going to be our title, and we're going to put it in between the tree and select category, right here in between. You can see the dotted line, and it automatically opens our text editor. And so what we want to call this is our executive dashboard. And we can look to see, you know, that's all that's lowercase, so we can change this from uppercase to lowercase. And we're going to highlight that, and I want Tableau medium. We'll bold it, and what we'll do is we'll make this a 20-point font, and I'm going to make sure that it is dark, that it's black in color. And we click OK, and now you can see we're starting to create our dashboard right there. So what we're going to do is we're now going to format this a little bit. We've hid this filter over here on the right. We've done an entire view here in the category, and so now we're just going to adjust this a little bit. So I'm going to drag this over here so that our container on this left is about that size, and we'll do the same over here. We'll drag this so our select categories, it's not off, but it's about the same size. And now that we've got these 3 lined up the way we want, one of the things that we can do here also is we'll now format this. So click on Executive Dashboard, right click and Format Text Object. And over here now we have this alignment over here. You can see that we're aligned left, and we actually want for the horizontal to be centered. But on vertical, we don't want middle center, we want bottom center. So click bottom, and it will move that to the bottom of our dashboard. So on that. And we can then also go, okay, it could be a little bit bigger. We can edit the text, and maybe we can go, because we have room, as high as 24. And we just made it a little bit bigger on there. So now what I want you to do is, you see how I've got this clicked on here on the executive dashboard, and these bars up here at the top, this handlebar over here. Let's double click that handlebar, and you see now that it has taken in the total horizontal container. And what we want to do is click over here, more options, and we want to fix the height. So if it isn't already checked, we're going to fix the height, and that way everything in this container is one. And we're just going to move it up a little bit more, move this up a little more, okay, and well, we'll drag that up Just make it just to where it shows. And then we still have this container, this blank container on the top, and we're just going to get rid of that from the dashboard. And so just move this whole thing up to the top, and now all of this is set. We can check it, the height is fixed. So all of this will remain the same right now. Okay, so we've just built the top part of our dashboard. So this area up here we just built. So, very good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our band, so this band right here, this summary right here, we're going to put that in. So grab O2 band, and we're going to put it in right below where it says Executive Dashboard. We want it right there where it's shaded. Okay, and it's fine like that right now. We can just grab this and drag it down, and you can see that our numbers change by how we drag it. And so if you have all numbers in there, some ways to fix that is go into the sheet, which is you can click on it here, you can click in here and click go to sheet there, or you can come down here to the bottom to band, and you might have to adjust the size of the numbers. You might have to, like you saw, I adjusted the size of this here, of that container. And so this looks good. It's how we want it right now. And we're going to go ahead and take the footer and drop it in all the way down here at the bottom. And we want this highlighted down there at the bottom. And as you can see, it put everything over there on the left. So we're going to go in here and we're going to go to standard, and we're going to do entire view. And now it moved it over here to the right, which is where we want it. And we're going to drag that down a little bit. And so now we have our data source. This is our footer down here at the bottom. And we'll change that container size right there. So one of the things that we can do in here too is we can fix this height. If we like how this is, we'll go in here and fix this height. So it's already checked, so it should remain there like that. So we fix the height. So those are two of the things that we did. So we just make sure that it's where we want. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our title. I just want to make sure we're doing that right. So we're going to bring this profitability at a glance. But notice that we also have this over here in region. So what we want to do to that is we're going to bring in another horizontal container and put it right underneath the one we just did. Okay. So there's our horizontal container right there. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to drag title into our horizontal container. We want it inside. And we're going to adjust this just a little bit. The other thing is we are going to change that from standard view to entire view. So we have this profitability at a glance for region. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to take a blank and we're going to put it in on the right side of that container. So it's just fitting inside that container. And my mouse did wrong, so I'm going to take a blank again. I just X'd out of that, put it in the right side of the container, and then resize it. We want to bring it all the way down here to the right. And that's just a placeholder for some things that we're going to be doing later on. Okay, and we'll fix all this here in a few minutes. We'll add that in there, but we're going to build out the rest of this now. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to format the map a little bit. We're not going to drag it in yet. But what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to Profitability Map. We can also go here, up here into Sheets. It says Go to Sheet, or we can go down here at the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to add regions in here. So we don't have regions yet inside here. So we're going to add that. So ABC region over here on the left, we're going to drag ABC region into details under the marks. We're just going to come in and drag that in right there. Now we have regions in there. We got north, south, east, west. We don't have to do anything else with that. So we have regions in there. Now we can go back to our dashboard. Okay, and you'll see why in a few minutes we want regions in there, because if we look at this dashboard, we have this region filter here, and we had to put that in so we can filter it. So let's take Profitability Map, and before we do that, we're going to take a new horizontal container, and drag that in right here. Okay, and we can resize this. So this is our new horizontal container. The other thing that we can do, go ahead here, is we can remove from dashboard our blank container. So we can remove this blank container. You'll see this will pop up. We're just going to resize that back down. So now we have this vertical or horizontal container in here. The reason why we're using horizontal, because it's going to be one next to the other on the right and left instead of on top or underneath. So now we're going to take Profitability Map and we're just going to drop it in. It's going to take up the whole thing, and it's going to add this filter over here on the right, and we'll just click on this and X out, of that. And now we're going to grab Profit Timeline and just put it to the right, not above or below. You can see where the highlights are coming in. We want it to the right, and there we go. And it also brings in a filter, so we're going to go up here and click on this and remove from dashboard, and it will resize this for us. Okay. And if we don't like the width, we can take this to like 1120 or 1220, and now we got this nice looking dashboard right here. So what we're going to do after this is we're going to format this up a little bit to do that. So we deleted these legends over here. This all looks really nice. Okay. Now on this title, we want to get rid of this 04 profitability map. We just want the map. So we're going to click on it. So if you're out of here anywhere, just click on the map, then right click on the title, hit edit title. Cancel. We don't want to edit. We want to hide the title. We hide the title and it resizes format. So the next thing that we're going to do over here is we're going to click on the map, okay, right here. We're going to do more options, okay. So down here we're going to choose this, and we're going to go down to filters, okay. So this is what we're going to do. So again, let me just do this anywhere. Just click on the map. When we click on the map, we have this legend here on the right. We have this drop down. It says more options. We're going to go down to filters, and we're going to do region. We're going to click region. Now it's going to bring up this filter over here to the right. So we're going to work on that filter. We have a new regions filter, and the only reason we have that is because earlier we went into the profitability map and added region in our sheet. So now what we're going to do is, while we're on this region over here, we're going to click on this. Just click anywhere inside this, and we're going to click on the drop down, and we're going to do a couple of things in here. First is, this is kind of big. We don't need all of this information. So we're going to go down here to multiple values drop down. If we click on that, we see that it went from showing everything to this all, and we can just click this button here. And if we click it, we'll see, click on these, we'd have just the west in there. We can do the south, east. Now it's only doing the map, but so now we got to tell it that we want it to do more than the map. So we're going to go ahead and right click on this again, more options, and we're going to click this. It says apply to worksheets, and then it's going to come up. We're going to do selected worksheet. We can use all, but in this case we're just going to do selected. And what we want is we want to select the title and the profit timeline. And the reason why we're selecting this title and we do profitability at a glance for region is later on we're going to set it so when you choose the region, it tells you which region you're choosing inside the title. So we're just going to click OK now on this, and we have now done that. So we're formatting this new filter, and what we need to do now is on this right here in the profitability at a glance for a region, we have this blank container over here. If you remember, we created this. We're going to go up here and grab this. Basically, the handlebars is what some people call this. We're going to grab that, and we're going to put it into this horizontal container we did before between the blank and profitability at a glance. We're going to click that, and now we have this region in here filter, and now we'll go over here and get rid of that blank that we put in there. We're just going to get rid of it, and we might just adjust this to be a little bit bigger. So now we can come in here, and if we can choose east or central, so now we got south and west in here, you know, we can just do central, and it brings that information up. So it works pretty good. So the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that this filter is filtering all the categories. So we'll just click anywhere inside here in our icon filters at the top, and notice that we have our X, go to the sheet, it says use as a filter. We want to use that as a filter. Currently you can see that you'll see the difference. As soon as I click on it, it'll go from this white outline to solid white, and now we can choose this as furniture, and it shows us what we've got, the best places for furniture. We've got this over here in regions, clicked, and we can see that for technology, and we can see that for office supplies and furniture. Okay, so we're working on that, but now what we want to do is we are going to change some of this. So right here under summary for category, go ahead and right click on that title and click edit title. Okay. And it says summary for category, and if we do it right, between the for and category right here, we're going to place our cursor right here, and we're going to do insert, and if we did it right, we now have category inside our choices. So we're going to do category right there. Okay, and the other thing we want to do is we're going to color this. So highlight category, so highlight that, and we're going to bold that, and we're going to make it blue. And the reason why we're going to do that is so when we choose a category, we see which it is, and it is more visually aesthetic for us to view it. And so now you can see it says summary for furniture category because we have furniture checked over here in our icon. Okay. Now, what we want is, what if we choose more than one category, or what if it chooses all? So I can double click this, and I've got summary for all category. We don't want it to say category, we want it to say category, or when we choose all, we want it to say categories. So now we're going to teach you how to do that. So let's go to the sheet, O2 band. There's several ways we can do it. We can click on here and go to sheet. We can click on the left side. We have a go to sheet there, or we can just come down to the bottom and click on it. So there's 3 different ways to get to the sheet. So you need to follow along pretty good right here, because what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to analysis, and we're going to create a calculated field. So at the very top on analysis, there's also another way to do it. We'll just do this one here. Go up to analysis on the top and scroll down here to hit create calculated field. If you remember, we've done that a few times in other assignments. Create calculated field, and what we're going to call this calculated field is category / categories, because that's what we're going to create. That's our name, and we're going to come down here, and you need to follow along. We're going to do an if then a function. We've done this on other assignments, so we're going to come in with if and highlight that if, and we're going to do a count D. So a distinct count, we've did this before earlier, so if you remember, we made distinct counts on these, and our expression is category, and so we can just ABC category, just start typing a C, we're going to choose category, and what this is greater than, choose the greater than 1. So if our count in our categories is greater than 1, then, click then, we're going to use the term categories. If it's not greater than 1, we're going to choose else, and we're going to do category. And end. So one of the things you have to do in Tableau is you've got to end your equation. So I'll leave this up here just for a second so that we can do that. So basically what we're telling it is that if the count that we're doing on the icon is more than one category, we're going to use the term categories in our summary, so in our title of this. If not, if we're only using one, it'll say category and then end. Okay. So if we're good with that, the calculation is valid. Apply and OK. Next thing that we're going to do is, while we're in here, and we just did this, we're going to rename the title in this sheet. So just go up here to the title and right click and do edit title. And what we don't need anymore is we don't need this last category. So we have summary for category. We're bringing that in from the filter. And now if we did it right, we'll do insert. Ooh, and it didn't do it right. I should have a categories and category here. I know what I did. I jumped the gun. Let me hit OK right there. So what I have is over here, I got this new category and categories on the left side. It's a ABC categories right underneath measured name. I need to take that and drag that into detail. Okay. Now I should be able to go up here and hit edit title. And I've got my summary for category, and I go past that and I insert, and it says AGG categories. So there it is, it's right there. And now I do apply and OK, and you can see that it says summary for furniture category. I don't want that to be blue, so I'm going to highlight this and I'll take off blue. I want that to be black, just like the rest. And do apply and OK, and summary for furniture category is bolded, the rest isn't. So let me edit that and unbold this because the rest isn't bolded. So just making sure it looks good and it's congruent. Okay, now we can go back and test this. I can go to the dashboard and I can see summary for furniture category. If I choose and double click on furniture, it goes to all, so summary for all categories. I can click on that and do my other, and you can do control command and click on two of those, and so you see I have summary for furniture and office supplies category, and then I can just click on one. So that's really nice to do in your in and on your dashboard. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do on here is we've done this, our region filter over here. We're going to click on that, click down. We got a multiple drop down, apply to worksheets. We already did that. Selected worksheets. We did 03, 04, and 05. That's what we want it to be. But right here at a glance, profitability at a glance, we're going to edit the title. Okay, and now that we have region in here, we'll right click and we're going to edit this title. We're going to do a couple of those things right there. So profitability at a glance, what we're going to do is we're going to insert between for and region. We're going to come in here, we're going to insert region, okay, and give it a space. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to highlight that, and we'll do that in blue also. Okay, and this is already all bolded, and apply and OK. Now you can see that I have multiple regions, profitability at a glance for Central and West region, because I've got multiple values clicked in here. If I do just West, it says profitability at a glance for West region. If I add Central, it says Central and West. And just like we did before, we want to change this from just from region to regions. So we can click on this as profitability at a glance. It's our title page. We can go down here to title, and we just did this on the other one. We go to analysis, create a calculated field, and the name we're going to give this is region/regions. So we want to be descriptive in there. And just like before, we're going to do an if function, if, and it's a count D, okay, and the expression is region. Now we're going to go here to ABC region, choose that. If that is greater than 1, Okay. Then we're going to do then. If it's greater than 1, then we want it to say regions. Okay. And we want that double. We want to make sure we have double quotes. And now one of the things I want to look at is, notice that we have everything here in lowercase. So we want to make sure that regions is lowercase here. Next is we have the else. If we don't have more than one, we just want to call it region. Okay, we got to make sure you have the quotes in there. And then we do end. And we apply and OK. So now we have in here, we have a new category down here, just like we had categories, category and categories. We now have region and regions. And we're going to take that and put it into detail. The other thing we can do is we can now take this region up here and just pull it off. We don't need it anymore. And I want to give you a note, we now have an action button here in our filters, okay, that we didn't have before. And that's just a note. So now we're going to go here and edit this title. Click up there and edit the title. And we can take off region like we took off category before, and we're going to insert AGG region regions, and we've got that in black, which is good, and apply and OK. And we'll see if this works. We'll go to the dashboard and we can see profitability glance for central and west regions. And if we just choose one, for example, unclick west, profitability glance for the central region. Okay. And if we want it for all, we've got it for all. And this basically is your dashboard. We can do a few more little things on this if we want to, and I'll go ahead and do those right here so we can see them, because right now, see, I can scroll over a state and it tells me the region west, the state is Montana, and the profit is 289, and I can rename that if we wanted to rename it, and I'll show you how to make that where it'll say region or state, you know, bigger or things like that. We can also click on here and we've got where it says week of order date, September 21st. We don't need it to say week of order date, okay? And the profit can be closer. So I'm going to show you how to change these. So while we're in here, let's go ahead and go to the profit timeline sheet, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to go into tooltip, okay? Now we've got two different lines here. Okay, so one is a moving average line, and notice when I'm on my moving average line, this brown line, I can click on it and it says moving average profit from the previous 5 next. I don't want it to say that, and I don't want it to say week of order date. So I can click on the line, anywhere on that line, and now go to tooltip. And tooltip brings up what it says on that line. So now what I want to do, instead of week of order date, I just want to do week of, and then bring that closer. And it's moving average of profit from the previous 5 is, sorry, I'm going to delete this line, and I'm just going to say 6 week moving average. If I can spell average right. Okay. And just click OK. Now when I scroll over this, it says week of May 22nd, and the 6-week moving average profit is actually, we lost $171 on that week. Now go over here to the gray timeline, just click anywhere on the gray timeline, and now click tooltip, and we're just going to take out week, the order date, we want to do week of, and we can leave that name in their profit, or if we know that it is the profit or the loss, if we want, we just delete the name, okay? And now we'll click OK, and so now when we click on a week, it tells us March 15th, and we know that our profit is 46.56. Okay? Now, if we want to do this for the map, to make the map a little bit bigger, we can go to the Profitability Map. We can click on any state, it doesn't matter. It's just the map. We can click Tooltip, and it shows our region. Now on state, we can actually make this a little bit bigger, so when we're showing this, we can, you know, make this like a 14 font or a 15 font. Let's do 16. And do we need it to say profit here? Do we know it's already the profit? And do we even want to show the region? We may want to show the region, and we'll click OK here. And now you can see if I scroll over, I got region West, state of Utah, 13. And you can even get rid of the name state because they already know it's a state. And you might want to keep up the region. So if you scroll over, you know which region it is. So we can actually go back into tooltip, and we're going to delete that, but leave region so we can tell them the region, and click OK. And now if I go over, like Kentucky, it's the South region, it's Kentucky, and it's 38.83 is the profit. So it just makes this a little bit nicer, and that also changed it on our dashboard. So we got a pretty nice functional dashboard right in here. We can look at office supplies, furniture, everything works out. The sizing is right. All of this changes. I can choose, take off and just do East and West region, or I can do East region, and it brings it up and it shows me my profit timelines. And I can even scroll over these and find the week of November 1st, there was 1,092 profit. And we can look at what's going on, but the week before, the week of September 13th, we lost 1,600. We can see what's going on. We can also scroll over here and find out that Pennsylvania is not doing very good, but New York has done very well in that time period. So when we're ready with this, we can just reset this back to all, and we can reset this back to all by double clicking, and now we're ready to upload our dashboard. So hopefully this helped, that we walked through this pretty well, and let's turn in some really nice looking dashboards, and thank you very much.